Carnivore diet is becoming more and more and more popular. There are thousands.
It is not becoming more popular. You can look at Google Trends.
Tens of thousands.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, it's... Okay, it's gone up, but it's gone down. Looks like it might have gone up a little bit again. It hit a peak in January. Oh, I see. So New Year's resolution or something. It hit a peak in January back here too. So yeah, it's just on the downtrend again. No.
Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people now that are using it. Many people you see talking about the results they're having. Most people saying very nice things. Some people saying that didn't work for me, so on and so forth. But there are people that they try and I guess gain attention by criticizing diet. One is this fellow by the name of Dr. James Antonio. James, I've interviewed several times. In fact, I helped promote a couple of his books, Assault Fix and his Super Fuel books. I had him on my podcast. I was nice enough to say, look, go read James' book. Now, since that time, he's been generally critical of the carnivore diet. So, fair play. I don't care. I don't care if somebody wants to support me or not. It's up to them. But you know what? His most recent video, and he wants clicks, and I'm helping him out here again by providing him, I'm sure, some free advertising. But, I think that, the criticism he has is one is a carnivore diet is going to make you mildly acidic. You're going to have subclinical, or not subclinical, just chronic mild acidosis going on due to things like...
There's such a thing as ketoacidosis, but your body controls like your blood pH and everything. It has to be within a certain range or you die.
Sulfuric acid, hydrogen sulfide from sulfur-containing amino acids, methionine, cysteine, and so on and so forth, and the breakdown products result in a slightly more acidic environment, and that's quote-unquote bad, according to him. And one of the main concerns he's worried about is things like renal stones. And we do know that there is an increased tendency in general populations that a more acidic environment will precipitate more renal stones. But the problem with this, and his arguments are mostly mechanistic. We can say, we can put somebody on a short...
We already know this about the keto diet. This is especially problematic for children. When children are on the ketogenic diet, they have something like a 300 times increased risk of developing kidney stones.
Term higher protein diet with lower carbs, and we can see that there's an increase in certain urinary metabolites, thus maybe being associated with increased bone turnover or the formation of stones and so on and so forth. Again, these are all invariably very short-term studies, right? So the question that becomes is, what happens over the long term? Are there chronic adaptations to counter these things that occur? And the answer to that is maybe, maybe not. We don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to do the studies on that. But what I will say is approximately 2 to 3 million people in the United States every year develop kidney stones, right? Not all of them are carnivore. Probably 99.9999% of them are not carnivore, right? So clearly, and they're probably not all on high protein diets either.
Yeah, but the issue is they'd likely be at increased risk if they followed the stupid fucking diet.
In fact, the incidence of kidney stones...
So, like, again, the research, at least on children, is already out. They had a 300 times increased risk of kidney stones on a keto diet.
The prevalence of kidney stones has gone up from 1980, around 3%, to now about 10%, and that basically corresponds to obesity and all these other metabolic issues. And so, again, this is a multifactorial condition. I do not see, if the prevalence is 10% in the general population, and the incidence is, 2 million people a year, I'm not...
That's hard to believe that 10% of people get kidney stones. I have a really hard time buying that. Prevalence of kidney stones in the United States increased from 3.8% to 8.8%. So he's not far off. What the fuck? This has to be, like... Jesus, are Americans like the most fucking fat fuck retards on the fucking planet? 1 in 10. So Canadians are fat fucks too. What the shit? I do not know 1 in 10 people who have kidney stones. This has to be like elderly or something. Think women might be more likely to get it?
I have a very...
Obesity and metabolic syndrome identified as risk factors. Bone fractures increase risk of kidney stones. Chronic kidney disease. Increased salt and protein consumption and the rising prevalence of metabolic syndrome. So, this guy recommends overweight diabetics to follow the carnivore diet. And risk factors are obesity, metabolic syndrome, high protein intake, and salt. So the carnivore diet sounds like the worst possible fucking idea for somebody to go on if they already have a high risk of kidney stones. So this sounds like some of the increased risk might be due to increased meat consumption. Yeah, dude, if you could lose weight some other way, why in the fuck would you follow the carnivore diet? Like, kidney stones are horrible.
Seen that within the carnivore population, a corresponding amount. Now, he pointed to I've got a few people who send me their kidney stone stories after going carnivore, but again, how does that reflect to the general population? That's the question you want to know there. And in my opinion, based on observation, I don't think it's higher. I think it's probably lower because most people improve their metabolic health. Some of the other things he talks about, like poor exercise performance. Again, saying that you can't be explosive without carbs. Now, that's all nonsense. In fact, that's the most stupid argument when it comes to exercise.
Not eating carbohydrates reduces your explosive power. That's a well-known fact.
Dumbest one, because explosivity is short duration, very rapid onset. Things, power clean, snatches, jumping, sprinting, short duration things. Carbohydrates have minimal impact on that. In fact, it's all ATP. It's all the creatine phosphate system. And what's going to increase the creatine?
Yes, and carbohydrates increase creatine stores.
Availability is consuming a lot of it, right? So eating red meat diet is going to improve those things. Now, I can use myself as an example.
Where's the evidence that a high red meat diet improves explosivity? Care to provide evidence for that?
Broken multiple world records on a carnivore diet without any significant carbohydrates at all. So
he has not broken a single world record. This dipshit has a fucking cardio machine. He has what is it? It's one of those rowing machines, and he's at the top of a leaderboard on the cardio machine website, and he calls that a world record. This guy's like Jason Blaha. Sadie N-word donated $2. Let me see.
Again, his claim that, he would do better if he ate carbs. Look, I've done that, and I'm not. And the reason it's not for me is because it doesn't do well for my gut. It drives appetite, makes me think about food all the time. I overeat. For me, it's inflammatory. When I'm inflamed, I don't train as well. So again, you cannot just, go by your own.
Okay, well, that's just all nice and stupid.